Hello again, I'm Christy Nelson, and you're watching 5 Talk Street. The Hurd Natural Science Museum and Wildlife Sanctuary sits on a unique part of the Black Prairie, located in McKinney, Texas. And here to tell us about the many rich programs they offer is Stephanie Jennings, and she's the Marketing and Communications Director for the Hurd Museum. Stephanie, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for speaking with me.
Well, first tell us, what do you have to offer out there at the Hurd Museum for folks who haven't made it out to McKinney to see it?
Well, as you mentioned, we are a nature preserve with 289 acres. We also have a museum on the property as well that we incorporate into our education programs. We offer a wide variety of education programs and events and all kinds of activities to bring people into nature.
Okay, and you also have lots of events.
Yes, we do.
And you have a few coming up, including the spring plant sale. Tell us about that.
That is one of our biggest fundraisers. It's been going on for over 20 years. We primarily focus on bringing in native plants, but we also have some well-adapted plants. With the state of the current drought, it's a really great time to start conserving some water and still keep your landscape green. We'll also have some milkweed plants. So if you know anything about the monarch population, you know that they're in decline, so it's a great way to help them out as well.
Ah, so the milkweed is that a plant that attracts butterflies if you plant that in your yard, or?
It's the sole food source for monarch butterflies when they're caterpillars.
So this will help with the population.
Sure.
So tell us about the Heritage Day. That's also coming up.
We recently got on permanent loan a new exhibit featuring playhouses that mimic what settlement buildings would have looked like in the late 1800s. And this will be the grand opening celebration of that. We'll have all kinds of demonstrations and activities for kids to learn about the history of what the Black Land Prairie was like back then and just how to have fun out in nature.
Yeah, and that happens on April 26th from 10 until 4. Now, you also have these nature camps in the summer for kids. Tell us how this works. They start in June?
They do. They're week-long classes, and we have several different subjects. One of the advantages to each of these programs is that we find that a lot of kids today don't have an opportunity to spend much time in nature. Each of our camps gives kids that opportunity, and we've got that huge nature preserve where they can really experience what nature is like without, manicured lawns, things like that. Yeah. One of our camps even allows the kids to learn how to take care of animals. Okay. So there's a lot of different experiences to have.
Yeah. So now, how long has the Hurd been there?
The Hurd was founded in 1967 by Bessie Hurd, and it's been going strong ever since.
And it sounds like you have quite a bit going on for everybody out there. You also have animals or you can see animals when you go out to visit.
Exactly. We do have animals that free roam on the sanctuary, but we also have a limited number of animals that are non-releasable, and animals that we also use in education programs.
Like what? What types of animals?
We have, for example, we have a raccoon that was illegally somebody's pet. And it got used to going to people for food source. So once they let it go, it was kind of a problem for
he couldn't go out. He couldn't be on his own in the wild.
Exactly. Yeah. So he came to live with us, and that's where he stays now. But we also have a number of snakes and reptiles and things like that that the kids can actually pick up and touch in education programs.
Okay. So again, one of your first events that's coming up from now is the spring plant sale, which happens on April 12th and April 13th. And again, you mentioned that you can get plants there that really are low water plants, which will help with the drought. And of course, we talk a lot about the drought here. Is that really the focus of that sale, to make sure that there are native plants that people can choose from and make it a little bit easier when you're choosing your landscape?
Exactly. It's primarily a fundraiser for the museum, but it's also a great opportunity for people to select from plants that they might not be able to find easily other places, and just all in one collection. And like you said, and as your meteorologists are also
every day
indicating, the lake levels are incredibly low, so watering conditions could get even worse. So it's a great time to switch in some native plants.
I like the idea. It makes it easier when they're all just kind of displayed for you.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Stephanie.
Thank you
for joining us today and representing the Herd Museum. And thanks again for watching 5 Talk Street. I'm Christy Nelson, and I'll see you next time.